Hey guys, Saki here from SAKITECH, and in today's video I'm going to be taking a look at the OnePlus 6 and the OnePlus 5T. So a lot of people that already own the OnePlus 5T are probably wondering if it is worth it to upgrade to the OnePlus 6. So in this video we're going to take a look at them side by side and see if there's any massive difference between the two smartphones other than the fact that you have a slightly larger screen with a notch on the OnePlus 6 as well as an upgraded processor. So let's dive in and figure this out. Alright, so let me quickly talk about the screen technology. So both of these screens over here are exactly the same other than the size. So they're both optic AMOLED technologies. They both have the same exact resolution, and they also have a very similar pixels per inches. One of them is 402, other one is 401. So as far as the display quality goes, don't expect any upgrades on the OnePlus 6 as opposed to the OnePlus 5T, as you can see when they're side by side. They both look pretty gorgeous. Now the other thing here, the difference is obviously the expanded screen with the addition of the notch. And on this guy, you do not have the notch, you just have a square display. Notice that this phone has the rounded corners like the iPhone, and this one has squared corners. So you do have a little nice effect here when you look at this phone. It does feel more futuristic, but then again, you do have that notch, and some people think that's a problem. Some people think that is not a problem. It's not a big deal because if you want to, you can hide the notch. And even though that is like a camouflage, it is still an option that you do have. I would prefer a phone with no notch, so I would prefer this one right here as opposed to this one, even though it has a certain appeal with the rounded corners and the expanded display. Now this display is almost 6.3 inches and this one is 6 inches, so you're getting more real estate on this one to read stuff or just to browse the web or whatever. So that is certainly one advantage. Now real quick, I'm going to show you guys, you can turn off the notch here. So if you go to the settings, if you go into the display, if you tap on notch display, you can tap hide the notch area, and boom, it adds two black bars on either side of the notch, and now you have a phone that looks almost like this guy. And even the screen size goes a little bit down, but you still get more real estate because the notifications are on the top as opposed to the notifications that sit over here. So that's the differences in the display. Larger display, same quality of the display, notch, no notch. In my opinion, if you have a OnePlus 5T, there's no need to upgrade to the 6 based on the display alone. Let me quickly go back in here to change the settings back into the actual notch view so we can highlight the biggest difference. But I do want to talk about the software. Now I want you guys to understand both of these phones have the exact software experience, and they're both snappy and smooth in operation. So if I go to the settings over here really quick, if I go all the way down, go to about phone, as you can see, both of these phones have 8 gigabytes of RAM here and here, 128 gigabytes of storage here and here, Android 8.1.0, Android 8.1.0. So it's almost the exact thing. And as you traverse through the menu, it is literally identical except for one difference. So take a look at all this stuff. It's the exact same thing with the exact same options. So if I keep going up a little bit, you'll see everything is the same. If I go to the display, you've got the same exact options. So as you can see, everything in here is exactly the same. But the one difference I was talking about is this option, the notch display. So this doesn't have a notch, this has it, so this has the notch display option, okay? That's the only difference you're gonna see when it comes to actual software differences. Everything else is the same. Look at that, app drawer, fast, snappy performance. The only big difference is the Snapdragon processor. This one has the 845 Snapdragon processor. This one has the 835. Again, not a big deal, not enough to upgrade from the 5T to the 6 because they're both giving me a fantastic performance right now. And of course, they look the same. One more thing I want to show you guys is if you go to the settings, if you go all the way to the top and scroll down a little bit, you have the customization menu over here and over here. Again, exact replica. Alert slider, buttons and buttons, gestures and gestures, status bar is status bar, font and font. And if I were to go into one of these guys, for example, gestures, exact replica of each other, okay? As a matter of fact, if you look at the OnePlus 5T, it has the swipe finger for notifications which you can swipe it on the actual fingerprint sensor to bring it down. I don't see it over there, but it might be sitting somewhere else. I haven't looked into it yet, but that's one difference this has that this does not have on this side. But everything else is the same. You also have these drawing controls. So if I draw stuff on the lock screen, it launches an app that I desire. So if with this one, I've chosen calculator. If I draw O, so if I go to the screen over here and I do this, it will launch the calculator immediately. Okay, so that's one thing that I really like on the OnePlus phones that I haven't seen on many other phones, but both of them have it as well. So the point is that the software is going to be exactly the same. So that also eliminates any need to upgrade from the 5T to the 6. All right, so when we look at the camera department, there have been some upgrades. The OnePlus 6 does have a new sensor built into it, as well as some new options available to you, as opposed to the OnePlus 5T. So basically in the video department, the OnePlus 6 now offers 4K recording at 60 frames per second, and also slow motion recording at 720p at 480 frames per second for up to 1 minute. OnePlus 6 also has optical image stabilization and electronic image stabilization, as opposed to this guy who only has electronic image stabilization on its primary camera. As for the video recording capabilities, this one does record at 4K but only at 30 frames per second, and it does not have the super slow motion that we have on this guy. When you look at the actual resolutions of the cameras, you do have primary camera on this one, which is 16 megapixels. This one is also 16 megapixels. And the secondary camera is 20 on this and also 20 on that, which is a telephoto camera for zooming in and giving you portrait shots. However, like I said, there has been an internal sensor upgrade on the OnePlus 6 that's going to give you slightly better images, and also the two video recording options, 4K at 60 and slow motion at 480 frames per second. So if you are into those kinds of things, if you're into that kind of video recording capabilities and a slightly better image overall, you can consider to upgrade. But personally, I don't think it's a big deal, because the camera on the OnePlus 5T still gets you some really, really nice photos as well as video. But if you get scientific, if you get down to it, the OnePlus 6's camera is now improved and better. And continue talking about these phones a little bit more. Both phones have the USB Type-C, single mono speaker, and the headphone jack. So again, identical. So basically, when it comes down to it, if anybody, actually a lot of people did ask me this question. They said, if I have this phone, do I have to upgrade? Am I losing anything? Honestly, the only thing that you are losing is the notch, and some people don't like the notch. This phone is targeted towards China, towards India and Asian markets. I think they copied the iPhone because it gives the sensation of having a premium product in your hand. And of course, I'm not gonna lie, this product does feel very, very premium. You got Gorilla Glass 5, and again, also Gorilla Glass 5 on the front on this guy. You've got this nice looking display with a good resolution, and you've got all the, up-to-date features such as a newer processor, a lot of RAM, and simply a premium feeling phone in your hand. But look, here's my conclusion. Like I said, do not upgrade. We looked at everything just about, we have the same display quality. The only difference is the size of the display and the notch. We've got the same exact software functionality. Both smartphones are very snappy, they're very fast, there's no lag. They can run the latest apps and games, no problem. And of course, like I said, software is all the same, even little things like this. So if you turn off the displays, you can double tap on the screens to wake up the phones. You can go right in. And also another thing I like about these phones was the way you can theme them lightly. So if I go to the display over here and also over here, so let's go to the display. I just want to show you guys everything side by side. If you scroll down a little bit, there's an option known as a theme. So right now I have the light theme and I have the light theme, so you can do the exact same thing. Let's go dark on this one just to show you the difference of the two. So you get the black background here and you get the white background here. But another thing is, after you choose a theme, you can also choose the accent colors, and again, that's the same exact thing on both smartphones. So I can go orange, so all these buttons are gonna get orange, and even the control panel is gonna get orange. And with this one, let's just go green for a minute just to show you the difference. It's gonna go all green. And of course, if I pull down the panel, it's all green. So all these things are the same. And of course, software is very important because 90% of the time we're dealing with the actual software components of the smartphone as opposed to the outsider elements, okay? So if you're seeing no difference in software and the performance is just as snappy, why would you upgrade? They've got the same features. They've got the single stereo speakers on both of these smartphones. You've got the USB Type-C on both. They both have dash charging, and they both have 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. So that's my conclusion. But I do want you guys to let me know what you think down below. If you do have a OnePlus 5T, do you recommend upgrading to the other users, or do you think this guy is better? I also want you to let me know what you think about the notch. So do you prefer the notchless design or the one with the notch? And what do you think about the fact that you can hide the notch with a software bar? And that's basically everything I want to talk about in this video. Make sure to drop the comments down below, subscribe to SAKITECH, give this video a thumbs up, and of course, make sure to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook for the latest updates. Guys, have a fantastic day.